right, sounds good. I'm Ronni. Thank you all for being here today. Rain or no rain, we will not be stopped from rocking out with Bad Wolves. Welcome. Got Doc Tommy and Miss Diamante. All right, so the show here tonight at the basement is sold out. The What's in Your Head tour, so that's pretty cool. Now, these guys have been around for a while. They're not just a new band that have come together. You've all performed in separate bands. I know. I'm like, do I have to be in the show?
You come
I've been fighting my guy over here.
Hi.
I'm used to being on the radio. I'm not used to people looking and whatnot.
Well, you're very nice looking.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, how do you do?
I'm good, thank you. How do you do?
I'm good.
Good. All right, so with you guys and your other bands and everything, you came together from different ones. You have sat in for Snot and Five Finger Death Punch, which is cool. Now, here's something to note. The guys are managed by Zoltan Bathory from Five Finger Death Punch. And you guys are going to be going out on tour.
Yes, again. We were just touring with Five Finger and Shinedown, and then now we are doing this headlining run, and then we go out this summer with Breaking Benjamin, Five Finger Death Punch, and
nothing more.
So how does that work out to tour with your boss, kind of? Like, is he like on your ass all the time, or?
Well, technically, a manager works for you, so.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
He's probably like going to watch this and be like, what are you talking about in his accent?
Well, I would say better you work with each other.
Yeah.
So let's talk about.
We're all buddies though. Like, so he's like, Zoltan's one of my best friends, and Doc and John we're all friends. So it's just like easy.
And so how did that come about? Him deciding to manage you, and does he manage other bands at all?
We're the first band that he's taken on. But I was actually a little over a year ago. I was in Las Vegas for work, and we had just did the Learn to Live video, and I played it for him. I went to his house to hang out and work out and do dude stuff. He's got a lot of guns at his house. He's got a big house full of guns.
Sweet.
It's lots of cool stuff. And he was like, so what's your new band? And I was like, oh, check it out. And he's like, that's Doc. That's my friend. And I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, that is John. He is my friend too. Zoltan has a Hungarian accent. He moved to America from Hungary. But anyway, and that was it. And he was like, who's your manager? And I was like, you are. He's like, okay, bro, let's do this. And that was it.
Well, it's funny because you sat in with Five Finger Death Punch and In This Moment, band members and all that stuff. So to bring everybody together. And now as you see kind of how the rock music industry is going, you used to write for VH1, correct?
Yeah, I was the modern metal columnist for about a year and did all kinds of articles, which is really fun. And then I started writing for another website called creativelive.com, doing essentially like a music industry educational blog. But I love that stuff. He knows I just like running my mouth and giving my opinion. So
he's smart brother.
It worked out pretty well for me.
Doc equals smart guy.
He's the smart one.
With the music industry and rock and everything, and I know this is an overplayed question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because the answers are sometimes so different and varied. A lot of people are kind of going like, rock is dead, and I think that's been said for years. But with your position and now with your positions in this band, what are your thoughts on all that?
Well, it's interesting because that's a lot of what I wrote about, was about the kind of culture of heavy music. And what I ascertained from looking into the way it works was that essentially rock and metal is big, but it's kind of become a separate subculture. So you have like the mainstream, which is, has become basically rap, pop, country. And we're just over here to the side, and our biggest bands are playing arenas and stadiums and selling all these records and selling all this merchandise, but we're just kind of not really invited to the party anymore. So, which in a way is kind of cool though, because it's like, I think the people that are into this style of music are always going to be a little bit on the fringe, and that's what makes us who we are. And as long as, the thing I love about rock and metal is like, that was my tribe. When I got, when I started getting older, I didn't really fit with anyone. I was like, oh, these are my people, and I always.
That was me too.
Yeah,
I think everybody. I think when you go to, that's kind of the overall vibe. We're like, it's like you have a little circle of people, and then when you get into like this music community, you just drawing a bigger circle around all the people, and it's kind of like, we talk about it on stage. It's like when, at a heavy metal concert, I get the privilege of standing on stage, and we play some arenas, and there's people of every religion, every race, everything. Like, amicably or whatever, and everyone can kind of be in a room and have an experience with music and not, you know, it doesn't matter who's standing next to you. We're all there together, and you know, the outside world is like could learn a lot from our culture. You know what I mean? Where we put those things aside because that's not really what matters. You know, and we celebrate our similarities and not our differences. You know.
And that's kind of the thing. I mean, agreed that we all go to see concerts because we want to get away from all of that stuff. I mean, I like to go to a show because I've been immersed in work and politics and religion and all this garbage all day. I don't go to a show for that. I go to just go be with my tribe and have fun and bond over the tunes that make us all like happy people, you know. So let's kind of get into, you know, the subject matter of the Cranberries song that you covered. And Zombie, what kind of collectively made you guys sort of go in that direction and decide to put that apart in the Bad Wolves lineup of songs?
Well, I think the song actually, I was writing lyrics to another song while we were doing the demos, and the Zombie came on the radio station or a playlist in the coffee shop that I would go to every morning, and then I just I was a fan of the Cranberries as a kid. So that song came out in '94. I was probably like 12 or 13 or something, and I was like obsessed with grunge and metal even at that age. And then I went down like the rabbit hole, and I started Googling everything about the song. And you know, to me, like her message of you know, the collateral damage of those two little boys who were killed in the IRA bombing in Warrington in England, that sentiment really carries with a lot of the issues that we're having now, where you see there's like gun violence in schools. And you know, I could really extrapolate on any number of world issues, and it just felt like that song, we needed it now more than ever, and it was kind of a bold move because I think that the original was a masterpiece, and I was scared to put it on the record, so we sent it to Dolores through our label. The owner of our label managed the Cranberries for over a decade. And Dan, who works in the UK office, is a family friend of Dolores for over 20 years. And I was like sent it off like we're going to get a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And when Dan called me a couple days later and Dolores wanted to sing on it, we were all kind of in shock, you know.
So did you guys picture that as, when you went with it, did you picture that originally as a duet? Were you thinking of bringing another girl in to fill the female sound to it, or were you just going to go with it as it was?
No,
as long as she approved it.
We were going to go with it as it was, but it's obviously like, you know, it's like if somebody like that says, I'm going to sing on this, you're like, you know, if Michael Jackson was alive and was like, you know, called Alien Ant Farm, was like, I'm going to sing on this, and they'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? You're like, and do whatever you want, sir. Yes, please, you know. So that's how we were. We just sent all the tracks to London, and we had no idea what she wanted to do, and we were like, you're the master. We're the apprentice. You do your thing. And sadly, it never got to happen.
You know, when we got the copy of that song at this radio station, and I'm guaranteeing it was the same all over the country, when that song hit the ears of radio people, everybody was scrambling, going, oh my God, have you heard this? Because that song is so powerful as the original. And what you did with the song was amazing. I love the idea of how you kind of made it more towards the times, you know, talking about the droids and all that stuff, you know, and talking about 2018 and everything. And so when time came to pass and things happened where unfortunately Dolores passed away on the cusp of your recording, you guys shelved the song. What brought out that you decided to go ahead and release it on the record and make your decision to put the money towards her kids?
Well, I mean, initially, once, you know, I mean, to walk you through that day, it was like the night before, you know, Dan sent me, like, Dolores' voice messages. Dolores and I were communicating through Dan, and he sent me a voice message. She was like, I'm so excited. She was so happy. And she's like, this song is killer. It's going to be great. And blah, blah, can't wait to see, you know, do this in the morning. So I went to sleep, and I was in Las Vegas. And I went to sleep being like, tomorrow is going to be like one of the coolest days of my life. And I was like salty that I couldn't go. I was kind of like bummed I couldn't be there. And I woke up in the morning, and Zoltan he had texted and called me a bunch of times, which is irregular. And he was like, turn on the TV. And I turned on the TV, and I was like, what? And then it was everywhere. And I was like, I went online, and I was like, So immediately, I think we were all. He was in London at the time. We're all like calling it, like everybody's calling each other, and we're like, all right. So we decided, kind of the knee-jerk reaction was to shelf the song, and then we got on the phone with management, and we talked to, we were calling. It was like phone calls, and we spoke to the family, and the song was already done. Our version. So we're ultimately decided that we should do it as a tribute. And, I think the fear was that there was going to be like 100 million people were going to try to cover this now. You know what I mean? And it was the last project that she was to work on while she was still alive. And the only right thing to do was to donate all the proceeds to her kids. So we kind of just pushed it all in that direction. And and it's just, we had no idea what was going to happen, and it just kind of went viral on the internet, and then it's kind of got a life of its own.
Yeah, it's powerful for sure, and you guys definitely made the right decision on that, because I don't think anybody else was meant to cover that song. I think things happen for a reason. I know that's kind of just redundant, but it is, and I feel in those cases, especially with music, it brings us all together, and I think there was a reason that she was brought there to give you guys that oomph to be able to make that song what it was supposed to be. When you look at the video, have you all seen the video for it? Man, so goosebumps already. So the idea of having the girl that is in the image of her, and the gold, and the glass, and the year, and the day of her death, and everything, like, how did all that come together? Whose idea was that? Was that also sort of collective to make the video in that form?
Well, actually, so Wayne Isham directed the music video for Zombie. We know Wayne from.
He's directed basically every big music video that came out.
From like
from any
1990
rock band,
to
like Enter Sandman, and Bon Jovi and Motley Crue. So like really the most prominent music director.
All the cool shit.
Ever.
Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Pantera, also Britney Spears, Madonna. You know what I mean? And they kind of came to us with this idea. We were like, okay, everything happened so fast. It kind of was, we're still going through the emotional roller coaster of processing what was happening. And then I think when we got on set, and the Ava Capra is the actress who played Dolores in the video, and she was in makeup and everything, and we had been shooting for hours, and then when she walked on the set, it was like, someone was like, like everybody in the whole, like, I got emotional. It was just, it felt like Dolores was with us in a sense, and it was just a very heavy day, and I never really experienced anything like that, on a set. It was just it was like, there was something happening that was a little bit more elevated than I could put my finger on,
So once the video was wrapped and you guys had a chance to actually sit back and watch the finished product, did you kind of almost feel in a sense that it was kind of like she was there going, you done good, keep going?
I showed it to my girlfriend, like the first cut, and she was crying by the end of it.
Yeah.
And I knew something was there,
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times it's like you have a song, a classic song, then someone covers it and actually changes the context. So a good example of this is like when Johnny Cash did Hurt.
Yeah.
Right? So
great example.
The lyrics applied to his life take on a completely different context than when Trent Reznor wrote it. And I think with this song, there's something universal about it that now you can't think about our version of the song without thinking about her.
Yeah.
But you think about their version and it has a different context and it completely, which is fascinating, the way art is kind of malleable in that sense.
That's a good point. And I think that was one of the last things Johnny Cash ever recorded was those sessions and that song, which really makes it that much more intense. The album Disobey is amazing. Do all of you guys have it yet? You need to get it. You do? Good, because you're going to hear all those songs tonight at the Basement with this sold-out show. From Ashes to New on the bill as well. Miss Diamante, which I'm excited to hear you sing with the guys today. That's going to be so cool, and tonight at the show. And then, of course, our own very own Columbus band, Sour Blood. So from the album Disobey, you guys ready to do a little bit of the music from that?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. By the way, this curtain is rented. We're going to have to get this back in about 2 hours, so we got to.
Okay.
All right, cool.
So we're
You
only
guys,
going to
thank you
play
so
for
much.
an hour and 50 minutes. Just kidding.
Do it, do it.
We'll be doing the White Album, Both Sides.
Do it.
we're starting with
Remember When.
okay.
Remember when?
When it was 1992, two little kids stealing records, skipping school. We must have been like only 10, taking life for granted till we learned it had an end. And time is something they say, never understand it till it slips away. And to this day you never knew, I wanted to be just like you. If I only knew then what I know now, then what I know now. If I only knew then what I know now, then what I know now. Remember when it was 2002, you started slinging coke and got the dopest pair of shoes. But yo, this house has stayed our home since our father hit the bottle and our mother hit the road. Time is something they say, you never understand until it slips away. And looking back, I think you knew I wanted to be just like you. If I only knew then what I know now, then what I know now. If I only knew then what I know now. And now I'm tired of the violence. I'm so tired of the sirens. And it's better me than you. And now I'm tired of the violence. I'm so tired of the sirens. And it's better me than you. Slipping and we're falling, don't know where we're going with our lives. Slipping and we're falling, don't know where we're going with our lives, our lives. If I only knew then what I know now, then what I know now. If I only knew then what I know now, then what I know. And now I'm tired of the violence. I'm so tired of the sirens. And it's better me than you. And now I'm tired of the violence. I'm so tired of the sirens. And it's better me than you. Slipping and we're falling, don't know where we're going with our lives. Slipping and we're falling, don't know where we're going with our lives, our lives. Remember when?
That is amazing. Oh my God. Doc and Tommy, Bad Wolves. One more time. Make some noise. A little bit louder, please.
Thanks, y'all.
So that song is brutally honest, brutally real, brutally intense. Can you talk a little bit about the whole meaning and the story behind that song?
Yeah. So the song really talks about kind of addiction and mental health in the family dynamic. In this song, I address issues. I have a twin brother, and my brother is in prison. He tried to kill me, and he basically, my brother and I grew up kind of struggling with alcoholism and drug addiction through our teens. My brother also has mental health problems, and was repeatedly incarcerated as a kid, and he never really got help, and our lives kind of went in different ways. And then, ultimately, about 9 years ago, I got sober. And 8 years ago, he broke into my apartment in New York, and I had come home to a home invasion, and he hit me with a crowbar and broke my skull, my spleen ruptured, and he left me. And luckily, the paramedics revived me, and I'm still alive. But it's something that and to give you a backstory on us, like when I woke up in the hospital, Doc was there. We've been friends for that long. And I don't think I was ever ready to talk about this kind of subject matter in songs. And him and John really got behind me about opening up about this, and because a lot of people are struggling with these kinds of issues, and so I'm finding that through this song, a lot of people are reaching out to me on the internet and different places and saying, I went through something like this too. And it seems like for me that it's a very isolated, extreme situation, but in varying degrees, everyone loves someone that suffers from something. We all have someone in our family or someone that we know at work or someone that we're friends with, that maybe someone that we lost over the years that either is dealing with mental health or dealing with addiction. And I myself have dealt with extreme depression as a result of kind of the things that I went through with my family. So I think that, again, another kind of thing that's part of the rock community is we talk about things that are uncomfortable, and I think that overall, like as a community, by being forthright and honest in our music, it helps everybody kind of heal together. And the experience that I'm having by performing the song and having other people sing it back and respond is helping me and my family heal too. So that's a really big deal. So yeah.
So you're actually a counselor as well, right? For alcoholism, and Doc, you also do counseling too?
I do more like I guess like mentorships and kind of I guess life coaching type stuff, but he's a little more deep into it he can say it better, I'm sure.
So yeah, I work as a sober coach, a sober life coach in Los Angeles, and basically like I work with different people who can't go to rehab because they're either they're celebrities or they have to work. So I shadow them. I have to go with them and live with them and basically get them through their first 60 days of sobriety. And I do like relapse prevention courses and 12-step group integration. And then Doc also works with me in LA, and he works at a mentorship program for like kind of adolescent guys who are like starting to screw up. And he kind of, his specialty is like kind of refocusing people who are going in a negative route. And, it's just something that we kind of fell into. We were like heavy metal musicians, and it's just, I think that, I don't know, everybody wants to matter, what I mean? And so if you're going to do a job that's not going to be the thing that you love the most, you have to do something that matters to you, and that makes a difference. So,
does it make it difficult, obviously, when you're out on the road touring so much? And do you still have a chance to help out even from the road when you're in certain cities with your people, or how does that work out for you?
I mean, it definitely has that part of work has taken a back seat, but we work for companies, 2 different companies, and there have multiple people on the ground. So it's sometimes checking in, and if there's like some chaotic situation, you got to stop. You're like, excuse me, and like, Billy, put down the bow and arrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not exactly that, but it's and like, it's like it's the bright spot of my life. My life is filled with gratitude. Sometimes we got to deal with stresses on the road and stuff, but it's like whenever someone's really going through it, and I think he could relate to this too, is like when someone's just like losing their mind and everything's going to hell, and you're able to reel them in, you realize you're like, wow, like I'm so much further along than I think I am, and like this is so much better than being what it was.
Do you feel like as you do this on your job and your other job, do you think that helps you? Do you think that helps your progress and your sustainment of sobriety and all that by moving forward with other people too?
Well, like I said, I just turned 9 years sober in May 18th, and to me, it's not like time is not a tool. Like every day it's just a day at a time. Like I just do today. Because like when I first got sober, if I was thinking about, oh, what am I gonna do? I'm never gonna have champagne at my kid's wedding, and it's like I don't even have kids. You know what I mean? So I try to stay out of the future and try not to live in the past and stay in the moment. And it's hard. It's definitely difficult. There's a lot of fear, and the bigger your life gets, and the more opportunities you have, you like want to start controlling things. And so, it's you gotta take some time, sit by yourself, and reflect.
And it's who you surround yourself with directly too.
Yeah,
buddy.
We're friends, band. We get on each other's nerves sometimes, but we're like band of brothers.
So Doc and Tommy, talk a little bit about how you came across Miss Diamante.
I was stalking her on the internet.
Well, good for you. She's gorgeous. Yeah.
No, so John
Should
wrote
we
this
bring her
song.
up?
Yeah,
Yes,
come
I
on.
would love that.
Come
That way
on,
I can
girl.
step out of the. Please make some noise for Miss Diamante.
Hey guys.
You want a water?
Yes, I need a water.
You want to tell? You tell him. She makes it sound much less creepier than it is.
Yeah, so he was definitely stalking me on Instagram, but no, what's cool is that we're actually all on the same label, and the head of our label asked me if I wanted to record on one of their songs. And when I heard it, I immediately fell in love with the song, so I said absolutely. And then maybe 3 days later, I met Tommy in the studio, recorded the song, recorded the video on the same day, and here we are. Maybe like 3 months later.
Yeah, it was
Get
really
back to the stalking again. I want to hear how that went down.
well. So the song, first of all, John wrote this song when he was going through a divorce, right? And then he gave me the music and the melodies, and I kind of changed the lyrics a little bit. And I was like working on the song when I was in New York, and I was like, it was just like kind of a relationship song. And it almost didn't make the record. He's the one that was like, it has to be on the record.
They
And
don't listen to me. I just got lucky.
Because I don't know, there was like, it might have been too soft, and we were like, nah, man. And he's like, that song's great. But it felt like it was missing something. It felt like the way it was written, it was two people talking to each other about how their relationship happened, how everybody's been in that situation where you kind of have feelings for a friend, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And this is just kind of that song. And and then Diamante's on our record label. We got signed, and I was like looking at everybody, and I'm like, oh yeah, who's on our label? I'm like, who's this girl with the blue hair? And I was like, she sings so nice. And then I was like, maybe she sing this song with us. Maybe she go on a date with
You're
me for
sounding very
pizza.
stalkery. Right.
Yeah. And now,
Adam Sandler was just in town the other day, by the way.
oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, that's his crazy, his Halloween costume guy. Like, I'm crazy pizza man.
I love that.
That's the voice, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's my stalker voice. And she was kind enough to say yes, and now she tolerates us and comes on tour with us. And
They're a great band, and they're an even greater group of people, so I'm super happy to be with them.
That's so nice.
Well, let's give it a listen. Hear Me Now with Miss Diamante and the Bad Wolves. Doc and Tommy.
I'm at the bottom, can you come let me up? 'Cause I wrote a vow for you. Your friends have faded, let me fill up your cup. Toast to the stars, oh, the oceans for me, emotions in the air. Don't wanna live for nothing, just wanna be something. I never knew what it took to win. Don't wanna live for nothing, just wanna be something. I never knew we'd be more than friends.
We spin the bottle till we're kissing our cups. Felt like I died for you. You can't explain it, it's been years since we've touched. And I'm waiting night for you. I don't wanna live for nothing, just wanna be something. I never knew what it took to win. I don't wanna live for nothing, just wanna be something. I never knew we'd be more than friends.
Come let me up.
Can you hear me now?
About half a block away, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
The oceans for me, Come let me up.
I'm about half a block away out.
Come let me up.
Can you hear me now?
Come let me up.
I'm about half a block away out.
Come let me up. Can you hear me now? Come let me up. About half a block away out. Come let me up.
And
Thank you.
That is the Blitz Backroom. Make some noise, Miss Diamante.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Tommy and Doc. Bad Wolves. Man, that was amazing. Like, okay, I'm a pussy. Goosebumps? Anybody else? Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. You're all shaking your heads, so I know I'm not the only one in the room. So the Blitz Backroom, we've had so many great bands in here, and it's so nice to see a band like Bad Wolves with you as well, and just kind of as you're in this mode where you're moving forward and you're just a freight train. I don't think anybody's going to be stopping you anytime soon. The show obviously tonight being sold out, the basement, that's just a room that's a kicker for Columbus. Hopefully we'll get you guys back here again in a bigger venue. That would be fantastic. I think that's
we
in the
like
future.
the small ones too.
Yeah, I know. They can smell your breath from the front row and everything.
You better brush your teeth.
Nope.
But it's just great
Free
to see
thinker.
you and have you here in our building. And so I always like to ask, so it's all in the name, Bad Wolves. How did you kind of come up with that one?
In a pizza place
I
in the
like it.
valley in California.
Everything comes back to pizza, Tommy. Talk about this.
I like pizza. Crazy pizza. What was the original name?
The name of the band was Eye of Tongues.
Yeah, it was like
and everyone's like, the face you're making, because the band before Tommy joined was really like progressive and weird and
Yeah.
instrumental and and then Tommy's like, if we don't change the name, I'm quitting the band. And it turned out he was right.
I was like, no. I'm like, I Have Tongues sounds like an Indian restaurant with a bad rating. I was like, we're not going to do that. But yeah, so then I forgot what we were doing, and John was like, what about John loves Teen Wolf. We all love 80s movies, but he's like, we might do a Teen Wolf music video when we have the budget for it. But he's like, man, what about the Wolves? And I was like, what about Bad Wolves? He's like, and there it was, something like that. It was like something to that degree. It might have been the other way around. Like, it's like, you know how Paul McCartney and John Lennon always argued over who wrote Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it. I'm just kidding.
That was me. And it was in a damn pizza joint. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Mark, I was a forever lover.
You don't know what you're talking about. I wrote Yesterday, scrambled eggs.
So with the tour coming up, again, going back out with Five Finger Death Punch, Breaking Benjamin, any of the other shows you've done, who's been the first one to play the prank? Were you guys doing the pranks? Did they do the pranks? Is there a good one you can share? Because I know there's got to be some. And if not, what is your
There's only one.
intended
Tell
new
him about
prank?
Zoltan's birthday party.
Well, this is all Tommy's idea. So it was Zoltan's birthday, and he thought it would be a good idea for us to go to the party store and all get a bunch of dreadlock wigs. And
Like Zoltan.
And then we all
Aw.
get the Five Finger Death Punch football jerseys that they wear on stage. And then the entire band went up there with guitars dressed as Zoltan, and we went out and rocked out.
And we did all of his moves and everything. He had no idea. Like Five Finger knew. We had to tell them, and he had no. Like, you could see him in the video.
Like, who's
He's just
Slim
like-
Shady? Who's the real Slim
he's
Shady?
just
No
like
one could
playing,
find
and
out.
he's like, "What is happening here?"
We're all doing
And
the-
he's like looking around. He's like, he's just.
What the shit?
It's ridiculous.
What was the rest of the band doing? Did they know you guys were coming out?
Yeah. Ivan was doing like the real Slim Shady. You know what I mean? Which one is the real Zoltan Bathory?
This was
Yeah.
within the last month, right?
Yeah, it was like a month ago.
Yeah.
We had to give them fair warning, or else their security guard would probably like break all our ankles.
Yeah, they only hire like Navy SEALs to do security. So we would have literally been executed.
Google that shit because I think that video's online somewhere. I think I saw a little bit of that.
It's on our Facebook. If you go on the Bad Wolves Facebook page, and it's around. It's funny. It's pretty ridiculous.
So I hear you guys do a great cover of some Deftones stuff too.
We do.
House, are you good to do that today, or do you have a plan on maybe hearing another tune?
Yeah, we could do that. Do you want to do it now?
It's up to you guys. I don't
It's totally up to you. I don't want to ruin anything. If you had
She's
something
kind
else
of.
planned,
She's calling us out. Let's do it.
ah, yeah, right.
Dear, you leaving? Bye.
Aw,
Okay. You should learn this one too. Do you know this one? Okay. You gonna learn it though. All right. You should have seen. We went to see a movie last night, and it was scary, and she screamed like before it was even scary. It was amazing. I also
What's the sound that you make when you get scared? I want to know.
yeah. It's like James Brown. Sorry, my face isn't my moneymaker. That's okay. We don't need this face. This is Change from the Deftones. I want to change into a flame. I looked away. You were on fire. I want to change in you. It's like you never had a ways. Now you feel so alive. I want to change. I took you home, sat you on the ground. I pulled up your wings and I laughed. I want to change in you. It's like you never had a wings. Now you feel so alive. I want to change. It's like you never had wings. The cross, and I look away. Give you the all, blow me away. I want to change in you. It's like you never had a ways. Now you feel so alive. I want to change. Now you feel so alive. You feel so alive. You feel so alive. I want to change. It's like you never had wings. You
Avex, 2 of our 5 Bad Wolves. Thank you so much, and welcome again to the Blitz Backroom. So tonight we've got a sold-out show at the basement. We're going to see you guys all there. I know we've got a lineup of meeting all the bands before the show at some point, I understand. And to the other 3 gentlemen in Bad Wolves, tell them thank you, and we'll see them there tonight.
We will.
Are you guys hungry?
Are we hungry?
Yeah, we got some city barbecue.
I don't know if you could tell this, but I'm always hungry.
Fantastic. Again, the new album, Disobey, doing a lot of touring. You guys are touring for a long time. You have no break in sight, and that's a great thing, spreading the word.
We like to tour.
At the basement tonight, From Ashes to New, opening up, of course, our own Sour Blood, the new and up-and-coming rising star, Diamante. Thank you for being here, miss. All right. You guys are fantastic, and I will just reemphasize it once again. You know, sometimes bands play, and they're kind of like, oh, that was pretty good. Didn't really sound like the record, but you guys surpass it. Thank you so much. Please make some noise.
Thanks.
All right. I guess if you have some other songs, we'd be all right with that, too, unless you're ready to eat.
We got one more.
I think we're going to do one last one.
All right. Sounds good.
You guys probably know this one. We'll see.
Another head hangs lonely, child is slowly taken. When the violence causes silence, who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their drones. In your head, they are crying. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Yo. Another mother's breaking heart is taking over. When the violence causes silence, who are we mistaken? It's the same old theme in 2018. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their drones. In your head, they are dying. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Yo. Yeah, yo. It's the same old theme in 2018. In your head, they are dying. What's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie.
you guys.
And that is the cherry on the cake right there. Thank you guys so much. Man. Wow. So before we break away to the city barbecue, do you guys have any direct questions you'd like to ask? Anything that you'd like to ask the guys?
Everyone's hungry.
Everybody's
They're
ready
like,
to do
we
the
want to
food?
eat. How long? When did we get together?
Well,
20.
I've been in the band for a little more than 2 years, and you were probably about 6 months before that.
Yeah, so like,
And then John started writing stuff like 4 years ago. So it's somewhere in between that.
well, the band has been together. And all 5 of us have been together since like May 1st of 2017.
Yeah.
That was the full lineup. Kyle was the last. Kyle actually joined the band the day we shot Learn to Live and learned the song on set to be in the music video. That boy good. He good.
Literally, the band photo they were using, that
Yeah.
was the day that he was.
Yeah,
there.
the first day that we were a full band is the promo photo that we have. Thanks, man.
thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having us. Thank you. We appreciate it
Thank
so
you
much.
guys. Taking time out of your day, it means a lot.
Yeah.
It's a work day.
All right. Let's eat.
If anybody wants to do